We have a quorum.
Yeah, good. So,
Yeah.
all right, well, welcome to budget session number 4. We're just getting organized here. Thank you to our finance director for posting the spreadsheet on the wall here. And the various things, the leave-ins and leave-outs we had asked for. Commissioner Grella is not going to be here tonight. We expect Commissioner Rainey to be here soon. So do you want to at least talk about the funding that is, the revenues now available? Why don't we walk through that for?
I would first like to talk about the carryovers. If you have any questions about carryovers from the spreadsheet that I'd sent.
Yeah, I saw those.
There was an outline of, and here's for the public to see, here's an outline of carryovers as well. So these are revenues or expenditures that are anticipated to be spent in 2024 and not in 2023. So there's an outline here. I'm free to take any questions here. These will be the same that will then be on the budget amendment to the manager's recommended budget for adoption on December 12th and be included into the budget.
Mostly just to point out items 17, 18, and 19. This is kind of following up on what you had mentioned the last meeting, where money for outreach that had been allocated last year and has not been spent yet. So that's not. Okay, any other highlights to jump off?
In addition, things, if you want to talk about things we talked about, that we talked about last time were the tennis court reconstruction, which is item 35. So we'll talk about the here and current funding, about how we rebudgeted for the appropriated increase. We don't need that because you already did it in 2023. So now it's a carryover. So you can see the full amount being carried over at 369. So that's there as well.
Yep.
The one that's not here, you don't really see it because it's not a general fund item per se, is there will be also a budget amendment for the amendment to the ordinance for the fee of the $290 for the fee going down from 360. So you will see an adjustment to the revenue category in the solid waste fund. It's not a general fund or capital the way we do it here, but you will see that on the final amendment. Yes.
Got it.
Other question or carryovers?
The hard copy of what
Yeah,
you sent out.
looks fine.
Is it identical? What is that?
Me,
Yes.
anyway.
Okay, great.
Also provided within your spreadsheets that I had sent you following the last meeting was a general fund breakout. So for purposes of our discussion this evening, I ran a projected fund balance that I do every year for the general fund. So I'm projecting about 15.4% at the year end. So about 0.4%, which is about 177,000 unassigned fund balance to that goalpost of 15. The goalposts are 12 to 15%.
Right.
So the upper echelon is 15. We've historically been over there for the last 3 years. We've been over 15% at year end. I still project that at this time. But the projection right now is 0.4%. Would be available if that's something the commission desires.
If we wanted to bring it down to 15, that would be $177,000.
Right.
Okay, thank you. And then there was one question on that spreadsheet. Sorry, so sorry, Steve. It says 2022 projected general fund balance. Was that an error? It meant to be 2023?
No.
Okay, so we're just looking back in time. to
Yeah,
2023.
2022 year end was 16.1%.
Okay, thank you.
It's a referential for you.
Unless there are other questions on fund balance, I want to sort of pivot this back to the front page. And you mentioned about there are some funds available for commission. What is as you mentioned, the unassigned fund balance, that 177,237. And then you also mentioned about 175,000, the capital fund. You mentioned that at the last meeting. What can you kind of walk us through where that 175 is coming from?
Those are surpluses from projects in prior years.
So the project's complete. Okay.
Came
Lack of a
under,
better word, left over.
came under budget, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Correct.
And then you also mentioned about there, and it's not showing the carryovers here. There have been funds in the budget for sidewalk improvements that set aside 50,000. And also the crosswalk improvements that set aside.
Correct.
So I didn't see it here. Was that you're just assuming it's going to be
So whether you want to put it in there or not, I'm not putting it in there, assuming whatever you want to tell me you want to use a fund balance, we can put that in as we
So
go.
we have to decide where to
That's
put it.
correct.
That's what we
Okay.
do tonight. Okay.
That's correct.
Thank you.
For commission, I talked to the finance director about it. I think I forwarded this to commission. It's just my version of the spreadsheet. It's obviously not the final. I just, there's stuff in there. Just to have in there as for our consideration, things like,
Wait. Are you jumping into the meat of the conversation right now?
I was about to, basically, I was gonna explain what revenue is available and before we get into which ones we want to pick.
Perfect. Yeah, I just kind of have process questions. Okay, so talking about revenue first, that makes sense. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, you know, in the spreadsheet, just, and I don't know, you know. Well, I have to look which Andrew I'm looking at. Just to add the lines, you know, to say, okay, add the line, for instance, in the assigned fund balance of the 177,000. I mean, I say, let's add it, and the commission says, yeah, keep it there or not, but at least,
You're saying, give us all the money we have up front. That's what you're proposing,
Yes.
kind of saying like,
yes, show us our options here.
makes sense to me. Show us, yeah.
Really big fund balance. And on line 8, you have fund up there twice. Capital
Okay.
projects fund balance.
What it's called. It's a capital projects fund balance.
All right then, okay.
I can put a dash in there for you.
No,
That's okay.
Separate it
So
out.
now we have 6:30. right?
thank you. All right, so at least that gives now, I had also asked a question about tennis center. I think was that one also you had said, Andrew, that there was, something the commission had to be aware about,
That's in there.
okay,
That's
all right,
line
good,
4,
okay.
or item number 4.
Okay, good, so I wanna make sure that's in there.
That reduces your income on that side, but also reduces the expenditure below.
Okay, cool. So all the revenue stuff being there, my intention for the group was to, let's start looking at the big ticket items, but Commissioner Rain, you had a question, so I want to make sure we had a chance to.
Yeah, just want to know, sometimes we jump right in and before we jump in, I just want to know what process we're going to go down and then then I understand, so.
My thought process was, as we go through, you know, expenditure changes lines 1 through whatever the heck it is, 27.
So go in
And then
order?
Well, no, I was gonna try and pick off the big dollar items first. Because, you know, they're gonna be the ones that really move the needle. And so I was gonna try and hit those first. That was my thought process on
And then,
that.
so
So
you
there
think,
is some on here. I just want to stop us.
Yeah.
There's some on here that make no sense, that I think we could
can axe
eliminate
off.
pretty quick.
so that's a different process. I like that one.
Well, for example, zoning code update. We were told by staff, we do not have the staff capacity to do it this year. I think we should take it off. I mean, unless we're also adding another employee, why aren't we taking that off right away? That's one. Another one was the mental health professional. I'd love to have that for the police department, but until they have a plan, why are we giving this money? Why not wait till the unassigned fund balance in the spring, giving them time to, for example, have a plan? Some of these just don't make sense to me as to why they're even on here. So
I think they might make sense to other people though, to your point.
I
Commissioner.
guess, but
I think with different commissioners, they make sense to them. But we can't,
children's
we can,
library painting, for example, they told us that they don't need the money, they have it in a gift to do. So why is it on here? And we ought to take it off.
we might want to just go down line by line. I don't know what the right.
We can go
process
down
is
line by
here.
line, but I just sort of like some of these.
Yeah, I mean, let's, okay, you know,
Steve, to your point,
editorialize, thank you.
Okay.
You know, and
Thanks.
you were saying, and then let's just go down the list, but I wanted to make sure you had a chance to throw your 2 cents worth before I jumped into.
oh yeah, my 2 cents is just 100% process. I just want to know what we're doing. So I'm like, my mind is, you know, in the right place. And if you wanted to do big ticket items, so as long as you tell me what that number is, like above 50 or above 100, what's a big ticket to you?
Well, I mean, certainly starting with the 6 digits, then going down to 5. Eventually think about the upside down pyramid, just, going,
That,
take down the
yeah,
skull.
that works to me too. I don't care.
So, I mean,
Can I make a suggestion real quick?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I think that what we were hearing from our discussion at the end of the last meeting was we wanted sidewalk installations at some level.
Yes.
100%.
So do we want to start possibly by putting in what the minimum level for the sidewalk installation, where there's a $500,000 number there?
Mm.
So you put in whatever that may be. We had talked about, there was a section that you
From
were talking
Ridgeview
about.
to Terrace
Correct.
on
And
Woodland.
Ian's gonna verify that number, but it's somewhere around $270,000.
Right.
So why don't we start there, put that number in and then go line by line, because then you're gonna start to see the smaller ticket, 50,000, 40,000, those types start to dwindle, and what you have left could be a bigger pot for those sidewalk installations or nothing left at all. But at least you're starting with that base number that you're, because I think the agreement was, I believe we had 3 here and from
Yep.
Commissioner Grella's email today. I believe that is a consensus that we want to have at least some sidewalk installation number this year.
And thank you, because that was where I was headed. That was the biggest number and start there. And to your point, I was gonna propose to the group to say, was it 260, 270? What's the magic number?
It was 270 was the engineer's opinion of cost. You may want to bump it up to like 275 or so, just to give yourself some inflation escalation there.
Okay,
So you're sure?
okay, can we just, for discussion purposes, 3 votes, 300? I got 1 vote for 300.
300 works.
Okay, enough votes for 300, so we got that, so yeah. Okay, so, next.
So now let's go down on the levels, because what you have left,
I was actually to go the next one to say, because the next price was, there was discussion about reducing street recovery, reconstruction by 200,000, because that by dollars and cents, that was the next biggest.
I wouldn't focus on reductions yet,
Neither.
like that, yeah.
until we decide what you want in.
What
you agree.
We may not even get there.
No, no, fair enough, fair
We may
enough.
not even touch that line item at that point.
Okay,
Good.
all right,
I agree.
okay. I think the next one, dollars and cents, is the zoning code update. And the
Take it
question
out.
is, are there, well, thank you, 1 vote, because I've got a vote on the other side from Commissioner Grella who wants it.
You
We
still get
do
the.
take turns. His absence may be academic, but at least let's everybody throw out to say, anybody have strong feelings, yay or nay? Okay, a nay for that. Commissioner Rainey, do you have a strong feeling?
I just want to go back to, we don't have staff capacity, that's the deal. Okay.
We don't have enough people.
Oh,
we don't have
okay,
that.
your
That's my
answer
question.
here, no.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't understand.
I mean,
the comments.
for those that maybe don't tune into the last meeting, we understand, I think staff understands that it's an important aspect to the commission. It's on the planning schedule, which is full at this point, but it is on the schedule for that to be reviewed in
Awesome.
future years.
Okay, and this
In
money,
relatively soon, right?
2025
this money gets us what? If we funded it, what does it do?
Zoning update.
Like a consultant, what does it buy you?
A consultant to update the zoning code
Can
based on the
we,
recommendations of the comp plan that hopefully the commission will adopt soon.
can we do like best effort to get an RFP out this year?
No.
And then,
No.
okay, can't
Just
even do
don't
that.
have-
Well, I think
We are doing an active transportation plan, a South Garage feasibility study. We're adopting and implementing the comp plan. We're continuing to implement the Parks Master Plan. We don't have capacity to do this.
Okay, got
It's
it.
a robust public input, and I don't know how you even do that.
Well, I think too, I'll offer 2 suggestions. One is that the unassigned fund balance discussion and throughout the year, there can be an assignment at any time. To get it out of a current operating budget type number, right? You can get that out, you can discuss that with Manager McGill at any time when you would like to bring that up and assign it. So that can be done at any time during 2024. In addition, I think personally, I think people may be planned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we've
Yeah.
had too many plans in such a short period of time. We're about to have a South Garage feasibility study, which will also be another outreach. And plus the other ones that are brand new, that Ian had mentioned. So,
Right.
Oh, I forgot the main park site plan too.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
so
We're doing that at
there's
the
a lot of
moment, too.
plans going on right now. So I think we're just going there. So we'll have that one on the unassigned fund balance discussion and moving forward in 24.
And you keep these from year to year, so whatever
Yeah.
doesn't make the cut, you
Oh, this
Bring it
isn't
back.
going away. It's just a matter of capacity.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm just
Yeah, I
saying is that
mean, I'm
processing
fully behind
for,
this
for you and for Jen to say, just,
Yeah.
you know, what happens is this list comes back to commission the next, go, hey, you were thinking about
Yeah.
this, and this, so it doesn't disappear from our radar. So, but I'm going to join the group of commissioners saying, not at this time. So essentially, no for the funds for the, and that's 3 votes for at least for a no to the funds for the zoning code update, so that's 0.
Mhm.
Let's see, next
Mental
is,
health professional.
yeah, that's the next topic. And I agree as well, we don't have a plan for that
Right.
yet, I get the need, we just, again, this will stay on our radar. But we just don't have a plan yet, and so that's why and again, I'm 1 vote, okay, you're 2.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, me too.
there's 3, well, I can't tell, as we're not funding, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? What's the appropriate gesture?
Yes.
Well, we also had a conversation during the budget workshops about, I have a note to do a discussion session early in 2024, first quarter, to bring in certain mental health
Yes.
professionals, somebody
Mhm.
from LEAD, to have sort of an overview of the potential options that are out there for this.
I think if we're going in order of, price tag,
That's what I'm trying
Okay.
to do,
Timber Creek,
yes, my favorite. So I am
Yours
hoping,
is more expensive. What?
that's right,
Didn't miss it. I missed it.
that's
Sorry.
all right, it's
Sorry.
close though, closer.
close. So, commission has heard me speak on behalf of this before, I'm hoping this is the year. You know, we've heard from our residents, because we were talking about the development, on Old Gilkison, that, I'm hoping I convinced 3 commissioners at least, to support this project. So,
I'm very interested in additional pedestrian walkways. I just don't understand yet how this helps. Who does it really help? Is it the shortest distance to the school? That came up last time that it's not.
it's the residents on Inglewood and the residents of Old Gilkison basically connect back and forth. I mean, yes, someone could go down the steps and take a bus going to town, there is that there. It's the complaints I've gotten is from the residents in both zones, just to connect to each other. Yes, kids can go, and that's where a gentleman from, who lived next door to the new development, on Old Gilkison, saying that's what he's gonna do with his kids, he wants his kids to go up the steps to get to school. Again, hearing from other folks who live on, in either place, the connectivity from one street to the other.
Okay,
So that's the logic I've heard, and I'm hoping this is the time. So I'm 1 vote.
I like it. I'm not sure how much money. I don't like it as much as some of the other things, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to axe it, but I'm not ready to vote for it yet either. Can we table it?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Okay.
I'm hoping that leads to good things. All right, going to next best, tennis center full-time maintenance position.
My salary
Slide
We're saying
18.
we're gonna do that, aren't we?
is, I thought that
I
was,
thought-
oh no, it wasn't recommended, so we have to fund it, but we said we wanted to fund it,
Because it would.
but it was below the line, so we have to have this rubber stamp.
No,
conversation.
that's why I thought we all said we're gonna do it. but
Yes.
It just has to be, but taking this, okay.
Okay, that goes.
Do I have 3 or 4 votes?
Yes.
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 Great, okay, so that's a yay, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
that's, we promised that already.
All right, okay, cool.
Full-time inspector, public works. Is this building inspector?
Not building inspector, no.
Building
No.
inspector, and that's what we got the handout on, right?
Sidewalk, street, utilities,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
curbs.
Sorry, where are we?
I got this, as much as I'm always concerned about adding more people,
Oh, I got it. 56,000, we got the 5-year breakdown right here.
Yep.
So 600,000 over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. That's the total cost, including pension, health insurance, wages.
Anybody have any strong feelings about to add or not to add a full-time inspector?
I don't know how much money it saves us from Gateway Duty. That's the missing piece for me. We have any idea about that? Because right now we have Gateway doing it sometimes.
Rudy's gonna come down.
I wouldn't want to overpromise on that. My
Okay.
primary concern and my primary reason for adding this into the decision package is to cover things that we're doing right now. We're using other full-time plumbers, Foreman One to do inspections, of sidewalks, concrete, things like that. We are also, using them to do all the PA1 calls, which that would be absorbed by this position. I feel that we probably would have some extra capacity with this person's hours to do some of that. But my primary reason for doing this is to cover all the things that we're doing now with a part-time person. And we're having a real hard time hiring part-time people.
I see.
You just can't get
Okay,
people for that level,
Sure.
to staff. And we
Sure.
would have some consistency with the people that are there. It's not a retrain every year to train them what
Yeah.
our specifications and our standards are for the streets. And we would, we would modify it and expand the position as we could. So it would, but the core of that position would be Pennsylvania One Call, markings and inspections, as well as curbs. When we do our contracts in the spring and summer and fall with our concrete contractors for sidewalks, assessment sidewalks, root damage sidewalks, and concrete curbs. So those are the contracts that we manage in-house now with our folks.
We're doing those inspections now, so is there a cost savings to the municipality from?
It would just, it would free up our,
Additional capacity for people that we have doing those.
that's correct. Yeah, we don't have to juggle the current people that we have there now. And again, there would be some continuity with the people, instead of hiring new people and retraining
Yeah,
them
that's right.
every year or two.
I just wanted to understand, or the commission to understand the cost savings versus capacity for staff.
And the 56,830, that's good, part-time to full, that's just the delta.
Okay, and would you expect a little bit of capacity from this person, and if so, where would they go? Would they ever go to our inspections department? Or would it be?
No, they would be under public works
Under
jurisdiction,
Public
yeah,
Works.
there would be a public works employee. And I would anticipate at some point that we would probably be able to do some of the inspections that Gateway's doing now, but I wouldn't want to commit to that year one. I would want to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, how you gonna
I don't want to
hire.
overpromise on that, that's
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
Since it's fair.
Makes sense.
I would assume this person would be like winter, there's one more person to drive a plow.
Probably not. No, there would be a lot of other work to do. PA1 calls are done all year long. I should have looked and seen, but we probably do, I'm gonna guess, anywhere from 800 to 1,000. We track them all on GIS. But we probably do 800 to 1,000 per year. Having to go out and check where our shore lines are, locate them, mark them for other utilities that are doing work or anybody that's digging in the community.
Okay,
So that would be a responsibility of this person as well.
okay.
Yeah, that's like 3 a day. We're doing 100 to 1,000.
Sometimes way more, yeah, and some of them are not just one spot, it could be a project. So if it's a complex project, we might be doing 1,000 feet of street and marking all the sewer, sanitary and storm lines. Buried communication cables for signals, those type of things. We have to mark all those, and we have to locate them and mark them. Our mapping is good, though, it makes it a lot better with the GIS system that we have for field marks, but.
Any more questions on that?
Thank you.
So we have three commissioners in support of this item. All right, why don't we, since
Yeah, I'm
no
on
one
the
is,
fence with that one.
since no one's leaving forward, let's go to the next thing on the list, which is the snow and ice route management, the GPS. Rudy, as long as you were here, you must, sorry, one more pitch for the
Okay,
route analysis
So-
and GPS route management.
as I mentioned during budget discussion, this is not just a route analysis, it would consist of that, so we would have two routes, a salt route and a plow route. Those would be done by a professional organization that does this with software. These routes will be plugged into devices that would be in each of our route trucks. So that our newer employees, that's the struggle the first couple of years. We train our folks, you can give them maps, you can give them paper, you can give them routes to follow. But being in the seat in the middle of a storm is a lot different than looking at it on paper. So we usually send our newer employees out with the senior employees to train them in the field. You know, we're actually doing dry runs right now just to familiarize our newer employees with, and let's face it, we had a pretty soft winter last year, so we didn't get much training in last year.
Right.
We've turned over probably 6, 8 employees in the last 2, 3 years. Maybe even more than that. I should look it up, but
Okay.
so that's part of our, that's part of the challenge. Especially in the sections, because you have alleys, you have side streets that are done last, routing, things like that, so.
What's the recurring cost?
I think it was $4,500. That's for maintenance fees for the software support. Yes.
Rudy, what's
Got me.
more, yeah, what's more important to you, this one or the position?
I would say this one, because we can manage, I think this would enhance our programs and it would give us a little breathing room. Because we have quite a bit of extra, newer employees now, and
Okay,
it's starting to get to a point where it's, we can, like I said,
I'll be two. I think we talked about this all 4 years I've been on
yeah,
commission.
it's been
So
out there for a
I'll
couple
get,
years, yeah.
I'll vote two. I'll vote second.
Well, I would consider voting for it, but only if you promise that they're gonna keep going up that connecting road like 4 times. It's amazing.
Peter would change our.
I know. What?
Hello. No commitments and promises can be made.
It's in the name of the streets.
That's not.
That's right.
Connecting to all the other streets.
And it's like, we've learned not to look at our street to judge any other street by, because it's the cleanest in the whole municipality.
Is your attorney?
No, it's 'cause
I think it would
connects, that's
actually-
why. I mean, it really just.
I think it would help, I really think it would
Yeah.
maybe make us more efficient. I mean, I think we do a really good job on the routes, but. There's always improvements you can do too, so, and you have somebody outside looking at it too, we've been here for
sure.
a long time doing it.
Sure.
So without putting Commissioner Smargill on the spot, I got a yes over here, a yes over here, and a yes over here. So that way 3 yeses, and you don't have to be in the spot. So
I don't have to say anything, okay?
that's it. So, all right, so we got that one. Before we get, there's a lot of smaller items
Yeah.
on the list. Do we want to go back and to revisit the steps before we get into a bunch of small ones? You can
What are
see it
these
is,
yeses?
I'm a yes for the steps.
okay, I have some yes for steps, that's 2. Do I get, a lot of the yeses and no's are probably copied my notes.
I just don't know how some of these stuff is gonna add up. I'm not quite at yes for steps
Yeah,
yet.
let's see how the adding goes.
Well, right now, funds available, 321,130, that's. up
There's a
to
lot of little
right?
ones that are like big
There's a
bang
lot of
for their
little
buck.
ones, but, just taking the next one of line 4, traffic signals.
Yeah, let's just go down, I
That,
think.
that
this way.
is, that one's near and dear to my heart because that was my
Yes.
first commission solve of getting the systems out there that they now can be controlled centrally. And so they actually flash when schools, not to start.
And
again.
it's not.
I'm a yes.
Exactly.
I'm a yes on that
So
one.
it's 2 yeses, but do we have?
So no, is this
3.
the
So I get
signal,
3 yeses.
school signal flasher system monitor? Is that what you're
So
talking
it
about?
tells you if something's wrong
Oh,
before
Okay.
someone calls on the phone to tell you.
But it'll just give you notice. if it's-
Okay. I'm fine with that. I mean, it's.
Cool. All right, so we
No.
got 3 or 4 yeas. I had put a question mark on the meeting room furniture replacement. I mean, I'm just kind of like. I want to make sure the steps are funded, so maybe I'll wait, just like, if we're looking for money, that's a place to do it.
If we lose the
So-
furniture, you're losing your steps.
Yes.
Okay, so those 2 together for you.
You wanted to make.
He wants the furniture.
If you lose the furniture,
We- let's
if you
just-
lose the
let me
furniture,
be-
you're
let me
losing your
be- let me
steps.
be
Well, I would like to do both,
Let me
but
be-
I'm trying to get a sense of.
You don't have 3 votes to lose the furniture. That's the nice way to say it. There's only you that wants to lose the furniture.
Yeah. the rest
Yeah,
of us
okay,
are
nice.
so much furniture.
It's like, if the furniture stays without me, that's not exactly much of a negotiation.
We don't want to be shoddy. We need the
All right.
furniture.
All right, we don't need the painting.
Yeah,
I disagree.
library
as well.
frost.
Library-
The painting that's already, they have the funding
Okay.
for that.
Yeah,
so,
have the funding for it. She even said that.
But I say yes for the additional door access controls. I'm in favor of that.
What does that get us again? What's it get the
Line
library?
7.
Yeah, what's the library get?
It gets some additional door access controls over at the library. They took some spaces that were previously not utilized for those purposes, put doors on them, so now they are not part of the
Oh.
overall system that was installed.
I see.
I see.
They're still secure.
Yeah, I
They
think we
just don't
can,
have for more remote access. There's-
I'm okay with not funding that, waiting another year personally,
Okay,
but I don't know who else, everyone else.
I'm okay with it doing it. Yeah.
great. thank you.
Not funding it.
You're
Because-
okay with waiting.
Well, I'm okay with waiting and if I could say something
Sure.
that, and I can't remember the numbers, I'm sorry, but Robin said that RAD is increasing the funding to the library. And so with what we're already giving the library, that might free up funds to do that project themselves without us adding any
We
more.
also received some funding towards computer needs for the
Yes.
next 3 years. The total's about 80,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so I don't think we need to be funding anything extra for the library right now.
Cool. No? Okay,
Well,
whatever.
you look like you had a
Next.
thought.
Arc ID
Okay, all right, so,
signs.
so we're all.
More
we're-
signs.
We're okay with not funding that.
Library,
right? I guess.
that's right.
Okay, cool.
How many other on signs?
Yeah, yes on $10,000 more for signs.
$10,000. Yep.
So I got three
We're gonna
guys.
increase
Yeah.
it to 20K.
Yes, so we will have 20,000 total, so we can do some signs.
Current funding is already at 10.
10, this will give it to 20.
Ah, okay.
No,
This is
it'll probably
additional.
take that. I mean, to get.
And if we
that
don't
in there.
spend it, we don't spend it, but
Yeah, I
you,
believe the original request, quite honestly, was 30. I cut it to 10, just to give us something to start with.
Start with, yeah,
So this would take it back up to 20.
yeah,
but
that's.
still not the full 30, sure.
And they might come back and say, if if you give us 40, you're gonna get 4 times as many signs, and you guys will have to figure that out, if you wanna use unassigned fund
Well, This
balances.
was for the primary signage.
Yeah,
Um,
We
and
don't
then
have bids,
as we
yeah.
complete that, we'll go through the, I'll say, ancillary signage.
Yeah. makes
So I've
sense.
got 2 for +10. Mr. Flynn, 3, great, okay, we're good there. All right, let's see.
This is the concession stand at Dixon. It's really heavy. I would say it's not, the teens that work there are unable to operate it. It has to be a couple adults, like a big, strong adult that is currently operating it. That's my understanding. Right, Rudy?
Yeah, it's leaking too. It's,
Leaking.
there's kind of a gap.
It gets beat up.
Yeah,
So that's why
I think it's 20.
it's the original one,
Yeah.
building, yeah,
yeah.
It's old.
Which makes it how old?
the old. I'm sorry, Steve.
was not quite as specific as I was.
What time do you get up in the morning? What time do you get up? I don't need to.
Yeah.
I would do it.
You may not want to go into finance, so just saying. So, all right, so we have one vote for that project. Any other yes, no's, maybes for those roll up service window? Mr. Flynn, yes, no?
Mine is more like how much of a safety hazard is it?
Inconvenience at this time.
Inconvenience, but.
It will need to be replaced in the very
At
near
some
future.
point, so,
Correct.
okay, all right. All right, then I'll go yes with it if it needs it.
All right,
Pretty
it needs to be, all right, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, sounds like I got 3 yeses for the roll up window, great, okay. Mental health professional, we talked about, automated,
license plan reader. And
yeah.
who saw the news about the criminal they caught in Los Angeles, oh, he killed like 4 serial killer in Los Angeles. They caught him because of an automated license reader.
Oh,
How about that? I was like, yeah, look at that.
This is above and beyond what's been requested, right?
Yes,
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
to me, I just, I think it's a tool for the police department and I'm in favor, but maybe one. In favor of this thing, but that was. Since it was mine, I put it above
This
the
is the
line.
final one they requested,
This is number 5.
5 of 6.
What's this for? Well, they wanted 2 and I said, put in for just one of the
Right.
2. I think that was. what this
And I
was.
think that the other question asked during the budget workshop was, which is more of a priority to you, the fixed intersection camera or this? The answer was the fixed intersection.
Right.
And
It was above the line.
right, which is why I put it there, because I had the same conversation with them.
Right.
And then there was also a request, I believe, from Commissioner Gorella to see some data statistics
Mhm.
in terms of specifically, well, not limited to, but specifically for overnight parking.
Yeah.
And then some additional statistics so that, and they're gonna pull those together and come back to the commission.
I'm a pass.
So I got 1 to pass, so I'm gonna take
I'll
that. as-
pass.
That's no.
All right, okay, means I only get 3. School crossing guard, enhanced
I'm a
crossing
no.
guard services.
I flagged that and then I think we discussed it a little bit and I'm now a no on that.
Anybody else?
Nope.
All right, okay, so that's a no. Police administration increased recruitment, that is,
Travel budget,
it's what
they
I'm
go to
looking
schools.
for, it doesn't have to be that number.
I'm a yes.
To the full amount or?
Yeah, full
or
amount.
shove?
We need to increase that pool.
Just because you can do some, most, all, so that's what I'm asking. So anybody else have strong feelings about that line item?
I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not overly concerned. I mean, if funds are available.
Right. I'm about in the same camp as Andrew,
So leave it and see if we have room at the end.
Yeah, let's come back. Let's come
and
back.
that's kind of,
Yeah.
This was
Next,
offset by raising, sorry, I'm
So,
jumping.
no, a full-time maintenance and where I'm torn on this is that I get the need. I do not want to add more fees. I think we're putting a fee in this year that's already not universally popular, I would say. I don't want to add another fee.
You don't want to increase the price to play golf.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
and
increased the fees across the board already though, in all
I
of
don't
our
want to, I don't want to add another one.
Okay.
So that's where I'm
Got it.
coming from. You know, where, you know, obviously it was
Yeah.
proposed to say,
fair
we're gonna
enough.
do one for the other.
Right,
You know,
Yeah.
in theory, we could say, well, we're gonna add this full-time maintenance person, but we're not gonna raise the fees. This is
I
gonna
see.
cost us
40.
42,140 more. You know, so I can see the argument for that.
I see.
I'm just, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm just, to me, I'm hard no on increasing fees. I don't know how everybody else feels about, I mean, I was what we got from rec is they can see some utility. But having the maintenance person over there.
Well, I'm almost the exact opposite. I will only support the maintenance if we have a fee that supports it.
Survived this long without having it, so it's like,
I'll vote for the maintenance either way. So I just made you guys as two, so it's up to Anne, or unless Craig weighed in, I can't remember.
Well, I'm actually with Andrew on this. I think if you're gonna have more maintenance, you need a fee to cover it because it doesn't really help the general public. It helps the people who play golf.
Right.
So they should bear the cost of it.
no, that's okay, it's.
Sort of like swimming pool, you know, I pay for a pass every year because I use it.
So we got
Yeah.
to split 2-2, so moving on to the next
And
line.
Craig did have it on his list.
That's a 3.
What?
That's a 3.
Yeah.
Mindy supported either way. You had Andy and
Go both ways.
Andrew. and-
So now I'm gonna score that.
But Andrew, I don't know if you were.
Either way. the minutes-
I'm fine, as long as the fee is there.
As long as the fee's there, I could support it. If it's not there, I don't want to.
I think Craig's support was for the full-time inspector for public works.
No, at number 11 says
That's-
golf full-time maintenance.
Really?
Yeah. On his
Oh, yeah, I'm
little
sorry,
list.
you're right.
That's all right, he's
Didn't see
got
that
both.
down. Yeah, it's further down. Yep. You are
He's
correct.
supported both, so I think we're
We're
there.
there.
Yeah, I think we've got the 3 for that. Next is the fence, the garden plot fence.
And this, when I remember the conversation, Andrew, I think you were the one who really brought it up, just saying it's something that we don't,
We need to do it some point soon.
we need to do
Yeah.
something for these people.
This has been going on a long time. They've been asking for it. It is in pretty bad need. It's getting pretty rough over there.
Yes.
Not cheap.
I will support it, but I'd really like to somehow, I don't know how to do this, to try to support those users of the garden to become a little more sustainable, to create some funding sources for themselves and to not keep coming back to us for things. Most gardens are nonprofits and they fundraise. This is the only one I can find from my internet search that is solely municipal funded.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna create ongoing tension. This is gonna create ongoing tension. There's beautiful community gardens all over the country and they're all nonprofit and they fundraise.
If I may add, the draft recommendation of the comp plan suggests partnering with the school districts to locate community gardens at schools.
Yeah.
And there are several programs out there through Western Pennsylvania Conservancy, Grow Pittsburgh, and some other ones that do community gardens at schools. And considering those locations would be a lot more walkable and accessible in the neighborhoods, you wouldn't have to drive there like you do to the golf course. Just throwing that out there
I'm
for
gonna-
consideration.
Unfund the fence.
You sorry, like the NFL, upon further review. Picking up the flag.
Well, that's interesting. I could unfund the fence over that too, if it meant that we should think of a new way. Do we have a leader over in the garden plot group?
Well, I've had that exact conversation with, the garden plot folks, a couple years ago now, actually. Ian, I guess the question is in the comp plan is one thing, that's a 10-year plan. What's our window for actually doing something like that? We had to ballpark it.
Good school board.
I mean, it would depend on, coordination with the school district. I believe there was a group at Howe Elementary that was looking into a community garden. I don't know if they've actually installed one yet, but I know there was a very.
Yeah.
They did.
Every elementary school, I was told by PTA, has a community garden now, has a garden now,
Yeah, they're
Every-
relatively small.
everyone, but some of them are
Yeah.
small.
They're small. We would have to find a way to scale them,
Yes, it's not a
to
community.
make them community gardens.
Well, I mean, to something Commissioner Rainey had said about we're unique in that we put municipal funding into the garden.
Mhm.
I suppose they should be fundraising on their own. But at what point do we say, here you
Yes.
go?
We'll give you this and from now on you need to.
When the proverbial line in the dirt, if you will.
That's a big
Uh,
give.
you know, and that's sort of like, that's, you get 10,000, you go raise the other 50, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's set this aside for now. We
With
need to have more
matching funds
conversations.
maybe next year.
All right,
Table.
next is, pool breeze, a water fountain. I just put it on there for it was inexpensive and it was below the line, but I thought for $5,000.
Yeah, looks like.
This is more
Sure.
the full water bottle, the water bottle.
Water bottle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
they
a
have
water
in the library.
bottle.
Yeah, I'm a yes.
I'm a yes. Is there a third yes? Yes, okay, good. Next is program of the pool cleaner. Again, this is below the line. It was a small dollar item. So I thought, well, it seemed useful for the pool, not that expensive. And so that's, again, that's one $9,000 decision. Opposed to a $60,000 decision.
Somebody tell me why we need this. Anybody?
It's cool. It's like a Roomba for your
I
pool.
know it is.
Second.
Second.
Oh, this is a
This
second.
provides the efficiency, but within a night, in an active, long consecutive days, the pool gets dirty.
Okay.
And
Pool
this
gets dirty.
this allows your pool water to be dirty and then to be cleaner. And for those that swim, sometimes they can get there. So this helps with that ongoing maintenance of the issues they have.
Keeping the pool
That's
pristine and clean and.
We had this similar discussion a couple of years ago with a floor scrubber at the ice rink. Bought a second one, they had nothing but success with it, so.
I'm a yes then.
As I say, in the budget book, it says it's not only improve the cleaning of the pool interior, but it will also allow a backup for the current use now.
I'll go with it.
All right, so that's 3 for that, yeah. Let's see. we talked-
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
All right, jumping to line 21, outreach. To me, there's money, Mr. Rainey, we were talking about it as you were coming in, that there is money left over from the previous year as far as the.
Right.
Well, this was just a specific request to their base funding. Former Commissioner McLean and current treasurer was stating the number that is requested here is to get to the number that is for servicing Mount Lebanon residents only.
Yeah.
That's where this request is. It's not for the expandable programming with our other services, whether it be programming, library, or
Yeah.
The police department. Those don't, this does not factor into this budget line decision.
So the way it works right now, it's like 2 free appointments and then you pay on a scale or depending on income, right?
Yes.
And is
something like
this supposed to get us so that all of it is free? Is that
that.
what?
No, they're right now fundraising the difference.
Okay, so they're funding the gap between actual services provided and the funding that we provide. So what's the number, Andrew, like 104?
104, yes.
Yeah, and it's been there for the last 3 years. They're saying they fund cost of services is actually about 128.
Right,
So they're funding that $24,000.
With their
difference.
fundraising
So
effort.
base, sorry.
but they do incredible fundraising.
They do, but
I mean,
they,
their whole board fundraises 24/7. I
They
don't
do.
know why we wouldn't let that continue.
because maybe they could grow, in other areas, or not just other
Mhm.
regions, but they could start to add capacity and add other people on their staff.
I'm inclined to keep it at,
I am
the
too.
14040. And look, they,
with
mine
you.
was in fundraising, but that's part of the leveraging.
Yeah.
Them and us, and so they're putting some skin in, we're putting some skin in.
Yeah.
So I got two no's. I mean, if we wanna keep discussing
It's
or.
up to Mr. Flynn over there
It
then.
needs
Okay,
three for
no.
yes, so it's.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, unless there's something, cause,
unless,
although I think.
Oh, Craig said it.
Commissioner Grell is interested, so.
so, okay, so yes, Grell and I would fund it, but it looks like you said no, right, Flynn? There we are.
All right, three no's, okay. All right,
Next.
let's see, next is going down to partnership.
I'm a yes.
This is an additional 10 on top of the 10 proposed.
Yeah, they asked for 30, we gave them 10, this gets them to 20.
Yes.
You're right, you're.
And Commissioner Grella is for that 10 as well.
Vote if he's not here though.
He'll vote on Tuesday night.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You can make
All right.
amendments at that
Got it.
time.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's-
I'm not
okay.
so
No, no.
confused. I'm like, wait,
Yeah, I
he's
was
not
gonna turn
here.
this-
He's just offering his preference, but.
Yeah, so that you'd have, okay, got it.
I'm glad he did, because I was not.
No, that's
that number
okay,
that
sure.
high, but we get three votes for that, so anywhere.
So we
Okay.
have one item here that's on here that wasn't discussed and, the leaf and debris grinder, we anticipate some grant funding coming in for that. We've talked
Yes.
about that. It's
Yeah.
not currently in the budget. There's, we expect 80, between 80 and 100,000 for the current one for
Yes.
the trade-in.
Right,
Rudy has, since the commission did not take it off the list right off the top, did some further due diligence, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rudy. But the one I think we want to purchase, he's been doing this all along, so we're ready to move come 2024.
Okay.
Because there will be a long lead time with this, most likely.
Right, yeah.
Even outside
sure.
the supply chain issues. So based on the current number, it's gonna need an additional 45 to get what we need.
Okay,
Okay.
I understand now.
So we should put 45,000 on here for,
I would vote for that.
With the anticipation, I believe we are going to be applying for that grant.
All right,
So-
so 45K for the beast, yes, three yeses.
yeah.
Okay, so, all right, okay, there it is, thank you. Okay,
So
so,
we're
let's see,
down
so,
money.
I was the one who questioned the municipal building rotunda restoration.
We already have 2 toilets, we can do your stairs.
Well, that's two votes, but I don't know if I get a third.
I said yes.
Okay, so I get three
Jamie
votes.
says yes, you've got your
That was
stairs.
the
Yay.
third, yeah, we
Yeah.
have enough money, I'm okay with the stairs now. I don't need to start cutting stuff.
Thank you, thank you. Which also means that we don't have to cut the rotunda restoration that
Good.
continues
Not.
as whatever.
We don't have to cut anything.
So,
Could throw 50 back at sidewalks or the rest at sidewalks.
well,
Or we could
but
keep
let-
it in the unassigned funds,
Right.
and then we have it for,
Or
for
whatever.
example, if chief is able to come up with a good mental health plan, we already have 50,000 that we put right back in
Yeah.
that we could do.
That's one, the
Yeah,
other
We don't have to
is.
spend it all.
Right,
I
it's
agree, we
true.
don't have to spend it all.
Right.
Another is we left outstanding is, we said come back to the Public Works full-time inspector. You know, that's 58,830, we're at 64,540. So we have options, to your point. And by the way, I'm sorry, we also didn't solve increased recruitment for police. And I thought we voted on that, or did we not?
We didn't have 3. You said, we were like, let's come back.
Okay.
That's what, the yellow means come back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have yellow right now to come back, recruitment or garden plot fence or inspector,
Or none of them.
or none of them, yeah.
Good.
I would vote for recruitment.
I couldn't tell, that sounded like a resounding yes.
I don't, I don't know, and I don't mean to be critical one way or the other, but to me, I'm just not even sure how helpful that kind of thing is. They were gonna go to local colleges, I think, try to recruit some kids to.
Well, that's the number one recommendation from our DEI group for police for
Okay.
increasing diversity is we need to increase the pool and start recruiting. Not that it doesn't automatically increase diversity, but just in general, it's good.
And this
to
money would allow them to
start
go
recruiting.
further away from this area. And they're talking about it's hotel rooms, meals, whatever, that kind of thing. So they can
Yeah,
take 2 more road trips or 3 more road trips to wherever.
and I didn't mean the number one recommendation overall from all the DEI groups. I meant to how to increase diversity within the police force.
Increasing diversity, not the.
Within the
this-
police
just
force,
Not this specific,
yeah,
you know. like,
but
I'm asking.
So that's
Steve,
still-
Jerry, have a question.
You had mentioned the municipal building rotunda. I
Yes.
don't believe that at this point that it's funded, but,
No, it's
No,
fine.
it's not
it's fine,
removed.
It's,
It hasn't been removed.
okay,
There.
so
yeah,
not
it's
taking it out.
essentially.
we're not
didn't
taking
vote
it out.
on
I got it.
I think.
The
it's
parentheses
still good,
mean-
right?
It's, would have been a deduct, and it's
Exactly.
not coming out.
Negative.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna be deducted.
A non-negative.
I like this, the way, my vote is to leave this just as it is.
Okay. My vote's
There's
for,
two votes for that.
I'm
Go with
police,
that.
I would say yes to police funding, as you all heard me say that already.
Take a quick look to see what. Mr. Umbrella.
You put the leaf grinder in, right?
Leaf grinders
Can't see
on
that
there,
far.
grinders on. I think certainly like leaving some money for later. I don't like going down to zero. I mean, if there are great support for a little bit of money going to recruitment, okay.
They said it was scalable too.
That was the word, scalable, thank you. But if there aren't three votes for any money, at least recruitment, then it's kind of going once, going twice. You don't want to add anything more. Commissioner Flynn does not want to add anything more to move the process along. I will be the third vote on not adding anything more.
Sound good?
So, we're done, right?
I'll send you an email tomorrow with it.
All right,
Done.
anything
Anything else
else
we need
for
to know about?
for the agenda? Andrew will send out the revised. Thank you very much. Anything else? What do you think of questions, concerns, anything?
I wanted to walk through the carryovers. I know you all are packing up and wanna run away. So maybe you don't wanna walk through the carryovers now?
Mhm.
Want to do
I
that?
know.
Talked about.
We talked about it, yeah.
We just talked about, no, I don't wanna fund any of them. I just wanna understand why some of them weren't done that we funded from last year. That's all. Like, what was the reason we couldn't do the, a couple of them? That was my question. All right. It says holiday decorations. Is that just left over? Cause we did spend some.
That's correct.
Awesome. Glass recycling,
They look fabulous.
$32,000 we keep carrying over.
That's correct. With the uncertainty of glass recycling a number of years ago with the 5-year contract, the commission set aside a side of money not knowing what to do with glass at that time. So we're carrying that over, paying for the Michael Brothers in the South Hills Village.
Yeah, we partnership with PRC, three other communities, and we each contribute to that, so that'll carry it over into 2024.
It'll pay for another 3 to 5 years.
Okay,
Andrew, could you
Cool.
put the spreadsheet back up? Well, Commissioner Reed's asking questions. I'm gonna just stare at the spreadsheet.
there's a couple more.
Commissioner Flynn, what are you talking about?
Well, you put this on the screen and you could just.
That handsome brood, there he is.
There's 175 for traffic calming
Oh, I-
at Cedar and Hollycrest.
Correct.
I thought we decided to do something there.
We did.
Okay.
It's a carryover. The project won't happen until 2024.
Okay, awesome. So it's automatically gonna happen, don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Contracted forestry
Automatically
services,
gonna have funding.
yes.
You have not received bids, all
Right.
that stuff.
We don't
We
need
talked
private
about
work.
a base bid, but
Yes.
so that we get a project. something.
Exactly, something we can afford. 21,000 for contracted forestry services.
Correct. That's leftover money for the strategic pruning of oak trees that Mr. Sukkel does.
Yes,
So we're not going to spend it based on our strategic in 2023. We're gonna have it in 2024.
okay, Q1, just where, when it's still winter.
Right, beginning of the year.
Awesome, so we are still doing that forestry work of tree trimming that everybody. that
We will never
do.
not do forestry.
Awesome, okay, and then what's the golf course equipment that didn't happen for 75?
That's the electric that is still not here.
Okay,
You're good.
perfect, perfect. Think that was it, let me make sure. Remind me what happened to the resurfacer? 150,
We're still preparing the bid specs on those.
okay, perfect. That's it. That I had. So
What
the other
happened
people
to
have
the
questions.
trees down in?
Hey, what-
On the
or
rec
spreadsheet
center?
just real quick.
That's speaking like.
We did give the Parks Board a full overview of what was gonna happen down there. So
Okay.
The oak trees down there.
No, I
the
just
main
saw
part.
it,
The Duquesne light
on
that's down
social
on the
media
high
today.
energy.
Right, I was there at that meeting like 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, now they finally got.
And I know, and now they did.
I was just curious.
Because of the transmission lines. They
Yeah,
don't-
transmission lines now show.
PUC regulations, they don't want anything underneath of the transmission lines that are within a certain.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Can you scroll down a little?
Thanks, Rudy.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good, all right, thank you. All right, any other questions for the group? As you said, you will send this out to us. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you to the finance team.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you
for
very
your
much.
help.
Yes.
Very well.
You know,
Thanks
it's
for
very
coming back
helpful.
in on the fourth meeting.
Thank you, appreciate everything, and, we're adjourned, and it's off to the commission meeting on the 12th to vote on this.
Yeah.